Hello there guys, and welcome to another one of my reviews. Today, as you already figured out, we are inside a brand new Bentley Bentayga. This is a car I've been waiting to drive for quite some time now, ever since I first drove the Rolls-Royce Cullinan, because in my head I thought these two cars are rivals, but as it turns out they really aren't. And I'm gonna get into that a bit later on. Now, let's talk about the Bentley Bentayga first. The Bentayga was launched back in late 2016, and it stunned everyone when it came out. There had been talk about an SUV being developed by the Volkswagen-owned brand, but nobody really believed it up until it was imminent. So the reason why that is the case, and the reason why people are so are frowning upon so many SUVs these days, is because some brands are seen as purist brands. So you can include in there the Rolls-Royce brand, the Ferrari brand, the Lamborghini brand. You can include Porsche in there. I mean, you could have up until 20 years ago. These brands have a certain trademark, a certain following. People expect them to behave a certain way, but they still have to be in tune with the trends, with the times. And since everyone is buying SUVs, they had to create SUVs for their customers. And this is the first and only so far SUV from Bentley, from the British brand. It is built, as one would expect, on the same platform as a lot of other SUVs in the Volkswagen Audi group. It shares the platform with the Lamborghini Urus. It shares it with the Porsche Cayenne. It shares it with the Audi Q7 and Audi Q8. So yeah, it shares the same platform with all these cars. And yet it feels a lot more different. For the 2020 revision, we got new headlights up front that are now using crystals inside and look absolutely brilliant. We have a larger grille up front that's a bit more raked and a bit wider, and the flying spur up on the bonnet has gone, and now we have a more simple badge up front. The reason for that is pedestrian safety, as some of you might have already guessed. They thought if you get hit by a Bentayga, you're gonna be in a lot of trouble with that badge. But the truth of the matter is, if somebody's gonna hit you with a Bentayga, I think that's gonna be the least of your worries. That's not gonna make a big difference, because this is a big car. The bigger differences are to be found around the back. Now on the sides, you'll also notice that the side gills on the front fenders are a bit different. That's really not a big deal, but you will find big changes at the back, where the taillights have been completely changed and the shape of the tailgate has been changed a little bit as well. Whereas the old model had a split design for the taillights, on the new one you have a simpler design, one with an oval shape that also uses crystal-like shapes inside and LEDs, but the taillights do not have real crystals like the ones up front. So now you have the entire taillight on the tailgate. So when you raise the tailgate, the lower reflectors turn on in order to let people around you know that you're on the road, especially at night. That's a legal requirement in the US, and the British brand had to adapt and find a solution. I think the new model looks a lot better, but I know the discussion is still ongoing online, especially since the old model with its split taillight design had a B inside the taillight, you know, that reminded you that this is a Bentley, as if you ever needed reminding, because you can't really mistake this car with anything else on the road. I know a lot of cars using this same platform roughly look the same. If you look at a Q8 and a Cayenne, you can find similar shapes here and there, but it's not the case on the Bentayga. Step inside, you get the best materials you can buy. I think only the Cullinan has better materials inside in some areas. Bentley also uses the best cowhide for its leather inside. These are specially bred cows at a certain altitude where various bugs do not exist, so that they can destroy the leather with, you know, all sorts of punctures and so on. So you have the best leather inside everywhere, on the dash, on the B-pillar, on the upholstery, on the roof, and so on. It's even the sun visors have leather on them. Everything is wrapped in leather. Where you don't have leather, you have aluminum. In certain parts, you also have plastic and wood. And that's a difference compared to the Cullinan. Inside the Cullinan, you won't really find any plastic. But you know what? It's not such a big deal as people make it out to be. Even the plastic, you have plastic button over here. Even this plastic is of very, very good quality. And I like the fact that Bentley kept all these buttons over here, and they have a certain great feel to them. They sound great when you change the temperature, for example. The rotary knob has a certain sound that's very, very nice, to be honest. It sounds like you are turning the knob on a safe. It really feels premium and nice to the touch. As I said, there are some plastic bits, but it's very good plastic. It's not really a terrible deal. Even though some people will complain about it. I wish you could feel the weight of this ashtray. This is a very heavy ashtray. It's made from billet steel, and it's really awesome to hold. I would take one at home if I could. You also get two of these in the back, one for each door, because, you know, buses will still smoke cigars and stuff like that inside these cars. The instrument cluster is very nice looking. It has a great graphics, reminds you of what you will find on an Audi model, because this interface is based on the MMI system. Plenty of useful information, very good graphics, and a very good GPU that really switches all the designs flawlessly. It looks really good, has every bit of information you want, and you can also get the navigation map on full display if you want. You also have a very good head-up display, everything you could possibly need. The infotainment screen is also touch sensitive, really easy to use, looks like a tablet. You get easy access to every single function you want. I won't dwell on it too much because it's very easy to use. And on top of it, you will notice the Breitling clock. This has become a trademark feature inside Bentleys. They all come with a clock on the dash, similar to what you would find, let's say, in a Porsche with the Sport Chrono package. Why am I mentioning this clock? It's because when the original Bentayga was launched, it wrote history, becoming the car with the most expensive optional feature you could get. That was a Breitling clock with a grand complication design, mechanical automatic system. It was a brilliant piece of machinery, and it costs, depending on the market, in excess of 160,000 euros. So that's basically the price of another Bentayga. It depends on the market, the prices vary, but that's about. But the least amount I've heard of was $150,000 or 160,000 euros. So extremely expensive. Think about it. The Bentley Bentayga, the new generation, starts at 160,000 euros. So if you get that clock, that Breitling watch, your price tag will instantly double. And I'm not even talking about anything else, any other option. So yeah, there's plenty of space inside, both up front and in the back. As a matter of fact, they changed the boot on this car. So now you have more room in the back, up to 10 centimeters more for the rear occupants. And you have lots of space to enjoy back there. You can configure the Bentayga in 3 ways. You get a 4-seat configuration or 5-seat configuration, or a 7-seat configuration. The most luxurious one is the 4-seat one, because you have only 2 seats in the back, and you can get a fridge right in the middle of those seats. Now let's talk about the technical side of things and how this car drives. The model we're testing is the V8, which turned out to be the most popular choice in the Bentayga range. When the car was initially launched, it was launched with a W12 engine, a 6-liter W12 engine, which is still available on the new model. Over time, the market got a diesel option as well and a hybrid option, but also this V8. For now, only the V8 is available for purchase, but the other, the plug-in hybrid model and the W12 model will still be offered. It just takes a bit longer to be delivered and made. It's just something that has to do with the production process. So this V8 is familiar to those of you familiar with the Volkswagen Audi group. It's a 4-liter V8 twin-turbo setup that is used on a number of cars, from the Audi RS6 to the RSQ8 to the Porsche Cayenne Turbo, and so on. So it is used on this car as well. On the Bentayga, it makes 550 horsepower and 770 Newton meters of torque. All that power is sent to all 4 corners of the car through this 8-speed automatic gearbox, and the car is capable of doing 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 4.5 seconds. That is not bad at all, considering this car weighs 2.4 tons. It gets really close to the Cullinan, which is bigger in size and has a heavier engine under the hood. So yeah, this is what makes the Bentayga actually a unique car in my view. Apart from the fact that it's really comfortable and really luxurious and well sound insulated. I mean, I'm doing 130 kilometers an hour right now, and most of the noise that's protruding into the cabin comes from the tires. We have winter tires on, not the best combo. 22-inch wheels on, which is the new standard for the Bentayga. It's normal to get some noise inside the cabin from the tires, but other than that, this car is very, very quiet. The the A-pillars don't make a lot of noise, so the wind noise is kept at bay rather well. So what I like about the Bentayga, as I was saying, is that apart from being very luxurious and very comfortable, this car is also quite sporty. I wouldn't say it's a sports car level of engagement is offered to the driver, but it is very sporty in the way it drives. It's not on par with the Urus, not even close, but you can actually have fun driving this car. There will be some understeer whenever you approach a tight bend with too much speed, but that's only natural. This car is very heavy, as I said, 2.4 tons, and that front axle can get overwhelmed. But there's plenty of grip, and you can exit corners with your pedal to the metal. And that's pretty awesome. When you enter sport mode, the suspension stiffens up, the steering stiffens up, and you get a better throttle response. The gears are kept higher in the rev range, and it sounds really good. This car really has a good sound. It's different from the W12. It is definitely the more brutish model between the two. The W12, when you accelerate hard in the W12, you feel like you're on a yacht or maybe a fast boat. You're whooshing away. In the V8, things are a bit more brutish. You feel like this car is more of a hooligan, and I like that about it. It has a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde feel to it. That's why I think the Bentley Bentayga has a special place in this very expensive SUV world. It's really not supposed to be compared to the Cullinan. The Cullinan is more expensive, more luxurious, and more spacious, and set up exclusively for comfort. Even in black badge guys, the Cullinan is still set up to be comfortable more than anything. The Bentayga is comfortable. It's not in comfort mode. It's not exactly as comfortable as the Rolls-Royce. It gets close, but it's not right up there. but it does offer a sportier experience whenever you want to drive fast. I think the closest rival this car has comes from Aston Martin, and it's the DBX. I didn't get to drive the DBX yet. I hope I will. But I think looking at the specs and the sizes and everything, I think that's the closest car this car has as a rival. That said, this has been my review of the Bentley Bentayga. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share, and of course subscribe. It keeps this channel alive. Until next time, ciao.